Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over a pretty entertaining post, which is titled, Dating as a Woman is Not Easier. Finding Love as a Woman is Not Easier. Finding SEX is. It's not the same, we are just as lonely. And guys, this post is about a gal, I think she's in her 30s or so, that's my impression here, if I recall reading the whole thing here. And she is a Tinderella. And this Tinderella has gone to the internet to voice her frustration because essentially there's no good men out there. In her journey to find love on Tinder, all she deals with are the jerks and the players and the womanizers and all that, and has made the assumption that essentially that all guys are like that, which is completely ridiculous. And I thought it'd be a good one to go over here making the point that this is why I tell you guys, absolutely by and large, don't feel bad for them. If you have gals in your families, female cousins, sisters, nieces, or female friends or coworkers that quite routinely complain about the same type of thing, no good men out there, don't feel bad for them because the likelihood is they, especially if they're good looking, generally attractive, they've had plenty of guys, good guys, who would treat them well, not behave like the players and the lowlifes and all that, Chad and Tyrone, express interest, and they're not interested in them. They, at best, friend zone them immediately, say they're not interested, or jerk them around, that type of thing, and go for these guys that treat them like crap. This is why you don't feel bad for them. And it's a story as old as time, really, if you think about it. And anyhow, she's going to go on this whole thing, and it just cracks me up to no end when you hear this type of stuff. And again, why am I covering this? Why do I care? Well, because as a guy like you, who I consider myself, in spite of what some people may think, a good guy, we don't like to be labeled as all jerks and losers and no good men out there when there are. And a gal like her, and many like it in varying degrees, are always chasing the low lives. So I thought it'd be fun to go over here. And this is not going to surprise you at all. She says, I'm part of the Forever Alone subreddit because I haven't had a serious relationship in 5 years. Yet none of the posts there describe me. And if I were to post anything, they'd chew me up so fast. I'm a woman, objectively physically attractive. It's very easy for me to get dates. As a result, I'm not forever alone because people want to go on dates with me, right? She says, sure, let's agree that women in particular, stereotypically attractive women, young and fit, can get dates. Sure, okay. But number of matches in Tinder don't equal love. She's going to Tinder to find romantic relationships. Tinder, as all you guys are aware, and she knows this, is a cesspool. It's hookups. Some people will say, no, it's changed, it's for, no, it hasn't. Everybody knows what it's for. It's like people saying that OnlyFans is, oh no, OnlyFans isn't just spicy material. Well, that's what everybody knows it for. Come on here. She's complaining. Guys buy you drinks does not equal love. Guys sleeping with you and then ghosting you does not equal love. Guys leading you on and breadcrumbing you for weeks or even months is not love. Well, again, guys sleeping with you or buying drinks to lead you to the sack, that's, again, the hookup culture. When you go on Tinder and that's your only source of finding guys, what do you expect? And you're going to see here when she describes the guys she gets involved with, duh, what do you expect from them? Again, this is why I don't feel bad for him. And little tiny scraps of attention here and there, or even S-word interest, does not in any way somehow quench our loneliness. We are still lonely, and I am still lonely. Yes, women can be lonely. Pretty women can be lonely. Women can be surrounded by the attention of 20 men and still be lonely. Hint, because more often than not, it's not real attention. It's fleeting, momentary, empty, and baseless. It'll be gone very soon, maybe by the night's end. Right there. 20 dudes can be giving attention. Nope, no. But here's the funny thing. How many, and we know these stories I've covered, thousands of them, can find their good guy, right? A generally good guy is going to treat them well, maybe even she has a good time with. And still they crave the attention from 20 dudes at the same time. Because the craving for attention and validation never stops. And once people get hooked on it, boom, never. I'm just so exhausted of my feeling of loneliness being dismissed over and over, as if I didn't have a right to feel lonely or sad. Here's a list of all the guys I dated over the past 5 years. Now, listen to this list, and remember, unless she's didn't mention it, Tinder is her main source for finding guys. Number 1, the guy that was going to move to Asia in 3 months. Said he loved me deeply while simultaneously keeping a girl in Asia warm for when he got there. When I complained, he explained that he was being logical, as he was going to move there soon. He needed to keep his options open. Okay, right there. Does that sound like relationship material? No. This sounds like a guy who has plenty of options with women. A Chatter Tyrone, has qualities, does well for himself, who knows, and she's putting up with it. A self-respecting woman, or any self-respecting person, wouldn't be jerked around like that. Another one, the guy who wooed me and made me laugh for weeks, and then months only for me to discover he had a live-in girlfriend. Back in his home country all along, texts me that he misses me to this day. Okay, another liar, another Chatter Tyrone. And sure, anybody can be roped in on occasion by the wrong person. Sure, of course. But there's a history of this shit with her. The guy that I was crazy about that would generously grace me with his presence for 1 hour a week for months. When I spoke up about it, he said that's all he could do. Take it or leave it. I took it, even though I cried for another 6 days every week. See? What I tell you guys about having a take or leave it attitude? That's what the guy had, and she stuck around. Believe me, there are plenty of guys out there that would not treat her this way. And I'm not even saying guys that would be kissing her butt in a way that would turn her off. Just guys that just wouldn't be like this. Why isn't she going after them? We're not hearing anything about guys that behave like that because she's not interested in them. This is why you don't feel bad. This is how women can be their own worst enemy. Another one. The guy that slept with me for 1 entire year gave me an O one time in that year, and when I spoke to him about it, said that it was my fault. After a weekend full of SCX in which he came 6 times and I came 0 times, I begged him to please to try, and he accused me of a grape. Said I was forcing him. I stopped talking to him. A month later, he showed up at my house, and he treated me so harsh because deep down he thought I was a bad person, but that he, and I quote his exact words, still wants to F me. Again, see the type of guys that she's with. Those are the long-term guys. In between, I've had several other short-term ones, including the guy I went on 2 horrible dates with, was thoroughly confused when he kept asking me out. We had no chemistry, and then ended up literally blocking me as soon as he slept with me and then disappeared. Again, this is what happens when you go to Tinder for romance. You're not going to get romance. Stop complaining about these guys if you're going for a certain type of guy, or going at the worst possible platform. Maybe meet guys out in public. But then again, if it's a good-looking woman, she's going to have to chat up guys because most guys are not going to approach a good-looking woman, either because they think they're going to have their heads bitten off because they dare say hello to them, which happens a lot, and that happens enough times you're not going to do it, or simply, nope, she's not interested. Or the guy who showered me with promises of fun date after fun date, only to completely disappear in a couple weeks. But not block me or ghost me, no, just string me along whenever I ask, make sure I'm kept warm in the repertoire. I'm tired of being used as an S-word commodity. I'm tired of having my feelings played with. I want love, real love. I'm so ready and willing to commit to one man only, build a family, to build a life. Well, then why are you going to Tinder? Why have for 5 years you been on Tinder? This is why you don't feel bad for it. Come on here. Anybody with a shred of intelligence knows, or shred of common sense, that's not the way to go. These aren't the guys. You can't tell me that she doesn't have friends and family that keep telling her or make recommendations for their friend John or her friend Bill. Well, she ain't interested in John or Bill because John and Bill doesn't give her the butterflies, the excitement, the unpredictability. She's her own worst enemy, and this is on a grand scale. I don't care where you live in the world. Let's just say, I guarantee you, guys watching this all over the world, you're going to say it's the same way in New Zealand, it's in England, France, China, Japan, wherever. California, anywhere. It's all the same thing. But somehow, because I can get dates easily, is like I'm not entitled to feeling lonely, so feeling unwanted. But how can I not feel unwanted when the last time I heard the words "I love you" were 5 years ago? Well, okay, you can feel lonely, but you have to own up to the fact that you have very bad decision-making skills. Okay, and you guarantee she's had friends and family warning her about that. So this is on you. If this was just maybe a few months of this, okay, but 5 years, and it's just 5 years, but this is how it goes. She says, well, the rant ends here. And she says, wow, this blew up. Thank you for the silver and 2 awards. Thank you so much for the kind comments, messages, and even chats I received. My inbox is full right now. I'm trying to get back to everyone. A few thoughts here. The whole comment section, by and large, are from gals just like her. Surprise, surprise, when they all do this, or the majority do this, that are in the same situation. And is anybody actually, realizing maybe we ought to change our approach, the type of guys? No, it's just easier to basically make the assumption that all guys are like this. Not all guys, most guys are not like this. And I'm going to read a few guys that write in telling her reality. She says, I was so glad to read so many comments with women with the exact same experience as me. Glad that we were able to find each other and provide support, yet sad that so many of us exist and are stuck in this conundrum. You're not stuck, but it's easier to say you're stuck. I know she said so many people just like her. You choose the wrong type of guys. If you get to a certain age, by the time you're in your 30s, you know darn well, women can tell the nice guys and the bad boys like that. They can scan the room and tell just by looking at them, by their body language, how the guy talks to them. And then you can pick out the guys in the middle. So, no, we don't feel bad for you. I'm also very pleased and surprised and touched by how many men reached out in kindness and understanding. Even though men have a different experience when it comes to dating and romance, most men were able to put themselves in a woman's shoes for a moment and understand, even for a little bit, what our experience is like on the other side and how we can just be as lonely. I guarantee the guys that are reaching out to her were probably the guys that she would never give the time of day to. She'd say, that's so nice, and want to be friends with them, but they would not give her the butterflies. We all know I'm right. There were also a few people that reached out, all men with actual mean things they said to me. To all those people, I will not respond, but I actually wish them love and kindness. I clearly had bad experiences in dating, but yet I don't hate men. Not one bit. It's the opposite. I'm actively looking for a man I can give my heart and soul to and try to find this man over and over again. Yet these 5 or so men contacted me with saying bad things. To them, I wish their souls are healed. You can never find love with so much hate in your heart. So there were guys that were really giving her a hard time, and frankly, that's psycho. Anybody that's actually private messaging someone like her and being like, I'm not going to repeat what she says here, but it's pretty bad. Finally, to all men and women, gay, straight, bi, pan, or any other orientation that commented with similar feelings of loneliness and deep desire to find love, I wish all is good fortune. I hope we all find what we're looking for. Well, that's the problem. There's what you say you want and think you want and what you're turned on by. And at the end of the day, the feelings, the desires are always going to trump common sense, and you get the point. So again, guys, this is why I don't feel bad. Not all women are like this, believe it or not. Some start off that way when they're young, teenagers and all that, because, hey, we all make mistakes when we're young, and eventually learn. But a lot are just like this, and they don't change. And they get to their 40s, and they're, woe is me, there's no good men out there. I mean, that's what's going on here. Now, for fun, I'm going to read some comments from guys that aren't being nasty, but are laying down reality to show you. And guess what? They're not getting many thumbs ups from the ladies in the comment section. One guy says here, please tell us what you found attractive about these guys. Backup girlfriend in Asia, live-in girlfriend, an hour a week, one orgasm in a year. Why would you endure any of this? Did they trick you? Or did you choose to ignore it, hoping it would work out? Ding, ding, ding. These were no doubt guys that were probably physically attractive to her, that had the charm and charisma, probably bravado, that really, the bad boy approach, and she chased after them. They probably were indifferent to her. They probably didn't chase after her. They probably made her work to get them. They probably had things about them that were appealing, like maybe an income or status or something like that. Other women liked them. And the more she pursued, the more they backed away. It's amazing. And it was 5 years of this. It's not like 5 years she's been doing this. Probably her whole life she's been like this. This is why she's alone, and why so many are. They are their own worst enemy. But if a guy points that out, well, we're jerks. Another guy says here, all men she has dated have been shit. That doesn't mean that all men she's able to date are shit. That just means all the ones she's chosen are shit. When you have the opportunity to choose and you choose poorly, it's not the situation's fault that you chose poorly, it's the chooser's fault for choosing poorly. Thank you, exactly. Most men don't even get the opportunity to choose. I would much rather have the ability to choose one good apple out of a bushel of bad ones than to starve because I don't have any apples. First world problems, you might say. Correct. She, as well as all the gals out there that have similar complaints and post it online and whine about it on Reddit or TikTok or Instagram or whatever, they made the choice. And so not all guys are the devil. Another one says here, this is a clear case of picking the same type of men, players, and guys with lots of options, and expecting to turn them into husbands. Not going to happen. You need to understand that what turns you on about these men is exactly what makes them a bad choice for a long-term relationship. Correct. It's the same thing as the expression, you can't turn a HOE into a housewife, or into a girlfriend, or whatever. You can't turn the player, the bad boys, the Chad and Tyrones, into boyfriends or husbands. Never going to work. But if somebody loves the drama, they're going to go for that. And last one, I can't help but notice that you were crazy about the guys who limited their time with you. It seems that you were still unconsciously following your cues of high-status males through scarcity behavior. Perhaps liking a man who's more available is akin to a man liking an overweight, unattractive woman. Given that many men who are more relationship material are indeed attractive physically in many cases, I'd say you should try to think more rationally about your desires and give one of those men a chance. I guarantee you, probably friends and family have been telling her that forever. And probably even swore after the last guy, screwed her over, no pun intended, that she's going to start doing that. But at the end of the day, ration versus emotion, the butterflies, they're always going to win. This behavior traits that make you hot for a man can be learned by him. Would definitely quit sleeping with guys until they show you more commitment. Duh. Anyhow, guys, it wasn't a very long video today, but I saw that, and it was a few years old, but I get recommended this stuff all the time, and I thought it'd be a perfect example of what's out there. So for a lot of you guys that may have been the type of guy that went out with a girl, you didn't kiss her butt, you didn't treat her like the queen, you just treated her like a human being, and she friend-zoned you and all that, and you, as a guy, take care of yourself, you're considered to be decent looking, you have good life and all that, and still repeatedly by gals like this, and then they go after guys that are low lives and losers and whine about it. Maybe they call you after, hoping that maybe you'll listen to their problems. This is why you don't feel bad for them. This is why you walked away. You can't blame guys. And the thing is, in today's world where, because of the internet and social media, anybody around the world can get attention and validation and communication with people 24/7, 365, especially a good-looking woman. That's typically what elevates the level of egos and what they think they can get or entitled to. So any arguably conventionally good-looking guy that has a lot going on, who in a different time and place would have a lot better options, just thrown into the friend zone and gone out and ditched for losers and low lives and players and scumbags and anything else that Taylor Swift says in her songs. You get to the point you're like, nah, I'm not interested. Hence why so many guys have been walking away. It's no surprise. So anyhow, guys, this is the world that we're in right now. And you choose to handle it the way you want to and never, ever apologize for it. And when you probably have people saying, why aren't you dating? Why aren't you getting married? And try to explain this, well, this is a perfect example. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know, guys, do you have any gals in your life? Family members, friends, coworkers that, does this sound familiar? You hear the same thing from them? I like to hear about it. Really, and what do you say to them? I mean, how do they take your response? Probably not too well. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.